read the Quran. I never really considered Islam. And the reason was because when I was in high school, 9/11 happened.
Sebelum mulai, yuk dukung dakwah Vertizone TV dengan like, subscribe, dan nyalakan notifikasi. Jazakumullahu khairan katsira.
So this whole idea of having this blind faith in something was just not what I was looking for. However, I did feel like, okay, perhaps this is all there is. Perhaps God did communicate with people in the past, and we just lost their scriptures. We can't really decipher what's true and what's not. So I was sort of stuck in between Judaism, Christianity, and agnosticism. I believed that there was a God. I felt like that made the most sense, and that it was just part of human intuition to know this. But the specifics about what he wants from us, what's right and wrong, what happens when we die, communicating with him, what happened in the past, I felt like all of that was sort of unknown to a large extent. I still continued studying and trying to find answers to these questions. A lot of it was just sort of internal thinking, praying. It's very easy to become sort of manic in that sort of situation, like looking at coincidences that are happening in your life and just really just trying to make sense of things and figure things out without there being a real clear-cut answer. So one night, as usual, I was thinking about these things. I was trying to study the Bible, and it hit me. I realized I never in my life read the Quran. I never really considered Islam. And the reason was because when I was in high school, 9/11 happened. And when 9/11 happened, it really changed America forever. It changed much of the world. When that event took place, I remember we got let out of school early. I remember it was all over the news. They kept showing the buildings falling. And just nothing was the same after that. Like I said, I grew up on Fort Meade, and you used to just be able to come and go on Fort Meade as you pleased. But right after 9/11 happened, they built these gates. They had armed guards there. When you would try to enter, for example, we would try to go to school like normal. They'd stop and pop our trunk and search our car. Of course, now when you went to the airport, they would search everything, and it's just like everything changed after that. Especially coming from that military background, a lot of our friends and family were now going to war, and it was just a really intense, crazy time. And during that time, I went to a website, and it was saying, you know, here are some quotes from the Quran. They want to kill us. Anyone who's not a Muslim, they want to take over the world. So I just wrote off Islam after that. I didn't personally know any Muslims. No one ever approached me to talk to me about Islam. So from that point on, from the time I was in high school until that moment, to me it was just common sense that Islam was this terrorist religion of lunatics. But that night I realized, you know what? I never read the Quran, and I know it can't just be this terrorist religion, because when I was young, I remember seeing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on TV, and I asked my dad, I said, Dad, what kind of name is that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? And he told me that that's a Muslim name. He's a Muslim. And also there was Muhammad Ali. I knew Muhammad Ali was a Muslim. These are American heroes. And they weren't terrorists, but they were Muslim. So I was like, okay, it can't just be as simple as they're all terrorists. There are Muslims who they just believe in it legitimately as a religion. So let me go read the Quran. So as soon as that thought entered into my mind, I went to the computer, I typed in Quran in Google, and I clicked the link, and I immediately started reading the Quran in English translation. So I clicked on Fatihah, the opener, and I noticed that they had 3 translations for every verse. So I knew that there must have been an original language that this was being translated from, because they had 3 translations for every verse. And as soon as I started reading this book, I knew that this was from the Creator. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, All praises for Allah, Lord of the worlds, Master of the Day of Judgment. I went to Surat Al the next chapter. This is the book. In it is no doubt guidance for those who believe in Allah. And I got chills. I knew as clear as day, as clear as the sun is bright, I knew this was from God. This was from the Creator. This was what I had been looking for all these years. I knew for a fact there was no doubt in my mind whatsoever. Because having spent all those years searching, reading different books, hearing different people explain philosophies and conjectures and stories and scriptures, I knew that this was not from a human being. There's no way a human being came up with this. There was no doubt in my mind this was the truth, that God did give us a scripture. He did preserve it. He did send guidance to us. And not only that, but the more I read it, I realized that it was confirming all those intuitions I had. It was reaffirming my fitrah, telling us about God, there being one God, Him sending the prophets, the day of judgment, the hereafter, talking about Adam, Moses, Abraham, Jesus, all these different things. Everything that I had intuitively believed, and even the things after studying Judaism and Christianity that I felt were true, however they were lost, I found them confirmed in the Quran. And I was obviously I was never the same again after that. I was so ecstatic that God did actually send us guidance. Because up until that point, after everything I'd been through, I thought we were just here in this world to just sort of try to figure things out ourselves, not really knowing for certain. No, God sent us guidance and He preserved it. And it's clear as day that this is from Him. No human being could have written this. So from that point on, I was just all day, every day, reading the Quran. I downloaded an audiobook of the Quran. I'd listen to it in the car. And that was it. I was a Muslim. I knew that this was the truth. And it was so clear to me that I really felt, I sincerely believed at that time that if I gave other people the Quran, that they would see that it was clearly from God. I knew that all these people around me, my friends and family and neighbors and classmates, they never read this book. They don't really know about Islam. I'm going to give them copies of the Quran. They're going to read it and they're going to realize that this is the truth from the Creator. And that was sort of where I was at that time. Instantly, I felt like it was incumbent upon me to give da'wah and to invite other people to Islam.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Innama bu'athtu li'utammima salih al-akhlaq." Verily, I have only been sent to perfect good character.
Because Allah guided me, and I knew the situation that these other people were in because I came from the same background as them. I grew up in the same environment as them. And I felt like if I didn't share this message with them, I would be held accountable in the hereafter. So immediately I started trying to give people copies of the Quran. And of course, anyone who's tried to give da'wah before, you understand that Allah guides whom He pleases. So that was something, that was a hard pill to swallow. In that as I was calling friends and family, people to Islam, they weren't seeing in it what I saw in it. But the point is that I knew, there was no doubt in my mind, the Quran was from the Creator. And at that point on, from that point until this day, I've just been consistently trying to learn more and more about Islam. I actually started meeting Muslims, realizing that there are mosques all over Maryland, that there are other people who have had similar experiences to me. I applied to the Islamic University of Medina. I was accepted. To give you an idea of the time frame, the day that I really publicly sort of announced to the world, in a sense, that I was a Muslim, it was August 1st, 2008. That was when I gave up music. I announced to everyone who I'd been working with for all these years and stuff, I was like, look, I'm giving up music. I'm a Muslim now. I want to learn about the prophets, about the Quran. And I just started trying to invite people to Islam. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to watch this video. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah guide all of us to what's best. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.